Why was VGK unable to sign any of its free agents? Why did everyone walk? And why wasn't VGK able to lure any free agents to Las Vegas? All of that ahead right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. And we are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. Chris, has your opinion changed since maybe over the weekend, earlier this week? Perhaps when I asked you days ago, we are early in the week, when I asked you before these free agent defections, I like that word. I'm going to use that more often. If VGK was in a bit of a pinch after questionable, controversial draft pick and all that, and really no major things happening there, no major trades on the table, I said VGK is absolutely screwed. That's how I felt, and I'm starting to feel so more often now. What do you believe currently today after Kelly McCrimmon said that he only spoke to one free agent since the season ended, and that was the camp of Jonathan Marchessault? And, I have to, the more I think about it, I felt that VGK might have lowballed its UFAs. And, is this your opinion as well? Why did VGK essentially allow, let's start here, these players to walk, 7 of them, including the RFA, the other guy, and that's Jiri Patera, they walked out the door pretty much without VGK making an effort to try to sign them?
A lot to unpack there. Starting with the UFAs that walked, Marchessault is, of course, where this conversation starts. It seems like the team capped out in the 4-year term range and $6 million. Marchessault wanted 5 years. Marchessault wanted to sign his last contract ever in Las Vegas and then ride out into the sunset. So you're telling me that if Marchessault goes to Nashville at 5 times 5.5, 27.5, you're telling me that the Golden Knights couldn't have closed that deal at a 5 times 5 and call it good? With the tax implications, with the fact that Marchessault's family is here, his roots are here, his life is here, it's a no-brainer that deal would have been signed. And the concern is the term and the constraints it might put on the Golden Knights in the year 2028 or whatever. The salary cap's going to be like 97 to 102 million at that point. That salary would be washed under the rug. Maybe he retires, or who knows? Or the LTIR comment. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah, 2 years, final 2 years on the LTIR.
So
fair.
That's where I'll start.
Fair.
Right. No, that's where I'll start right there. So it's unfortunate that the Golden Knights were unwilling to show some loyalty to a Conn Smythe winner, to someone who has done absolutely everything they could to prove they wanted to be here. The community, that just everything that Marchessault has done. So that looks bad on paper. And then the other UFAs, it was lowball city. It was absolutely lowball city, and maybe some pressure tactics to get some of the mid-range UFAs to possibly stay, and they basically told McCrimmon to pound sand, and they got paid elsewhere. And one thing I'll say, we'll jump on this a little more in the second segment. McCrimmon did make the comment that a lot of the UFAs wanted to capitalize on their next contract since they were now a Stanley Cup champion, and well, they got paid. The Golden Knights weren't going to come anywhere near the AAVs in terms for Stevenson, for Will Carrier, for Mike Amadio. They got close on Marchessault, but obviously that didn't get worked out. And Alec Martinez was a unique situation, so I'm not going to hold the team responsible or accountable for that one right there. But so that's the first part. Second part, people coming to Vegas here. Yeah, there was a lot of spending yesterday, maybe a little bit reckless.
Did you see all-time record? All-time
Oh
record.
yeah, like 112 billion or something like that.
No, 1.1 billion.
I'm sorry, 1.1. I had the decimals mixed up. 1.1 billion spent. I mean, listen, that salary cap increase goes a long way, and obviously the business of the NHL is good. But what's not good is the reasoning that UFAs all of a sudden don't want to come to Vegas. You're not going to tell me for a second that McCrimmon wasn't working the phones yesterday and trying to do something. I mean, Stamkos became a bidding war, and is that right, wrong, or otherwise that the Golden Knights couldn't land him? I don't know. The way things went, I think I would have rather seen McCrimmon overpay for Stamkos and whatever other free agents that were out there. I mean, listen, there's tax benefits to playing in Vegas. This is a Stanley Cup. This is a championship hockey city with a GM and a group of executives who make sure this team has a shot to compete for a Stanley Cup every year. Why did no one come? There's trouble in paradise right now. There's trouble.
Absolutely. Okay, so you're finally going to agree with me on that.
I'm 100% going to agree with you.
Okay, so people get mad at me when I'm trying to be honest here about just honest and transparent about the entire situation. I think McCrimmon gambled and lost. I think that he really had to believe he was just going to pull the ace from up his sleeve and come up with a Marner or a Stamkos or a household name in the National Hockey League. I really do believe that he just felt because of who this organization is and its name and its identity and the fact that they won the cup and the fact that they're the made men, that they were just going to bamboozle the world and come up with that big name. This is where I felt, okay, let them all walk. Don't worry. We'll just pay money and do some finagling and come up with someone else that can fill the shoes. I still don't believe that they have someone within this organization to fill the place of Jonathan Marchessault. They don't. Not right now. There's
not without getting extremely lucky.
In-house.
Extremely lucky if that were to happen.
Someone's going to get 42 goals.
It would have to be extremely lucky for that to happen. Extremely lucky.
Yeah, that's beyond lightning in a bottle.
The goal. I was looking for my stat sheet earlier. I had written down somewhere, but the Golden Knights lost approximately 80 goals and nearly 100 and 80 something goals and 90 something assists. They lost nearly 190 points or 190, whatever the number was.
192, I thought you said. Okay.
192. Okay, there we go. They lost 192 points yesterday, but they got Samsonov. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. We'll talk about that in the third segment. And you got a couple of two-way players who are going to be in Henderson. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Now, the Holtz trade could actually pay some good dividends for the Golden Knights. Is that going to fill a major gap? Of course, it's not going to fill a major gap, but it's going to definitely help.
Good. If he gets 30 goals, that's good.
That's for a 23-year-old who's been in the National Hockey League for 10 minutes. That's a tall ask.
He's been buried on the fourth line. We've heard about all those issues that they had back in New Jersey. Just let him go and let him be free. I think he could potentially be a second or a third.
Oh, he could. He definitely could, but that's not the saving grace here. And, there's the things that have been talked about. In Vegas, we're in a shell right now. We're in our own sphere that covers the entire city of Las Vegas, right? Everyone is just kind of ignoring a lot of the outside stuff. And the outside stuff that people say about Vegas, not loyal to the free agents, very cutthroats, all these things that we've been hearing, we just saw on July 1st, the culmination of 7 years of that. July 1st 2024 was not a good day in the Golden Knights history. I know we're being a bit aggressive right now, but
was it the worst day? Some fans said it was the worst day, and it's up there.
I mean, listen, it's still July 1st, and the regular season doesn't start for 3 months, I think, to the day. Good on the team for getting that nugget out there, because that was the big news that the Golden Knights were looking for.
Yeah, I'm so glad I know when the opener
is,
when everything
that's really
else
good
is
on free
burning around
agency.
here.
And it did take the team nearly 8 hours to put a thank you note out for Jonathan Marchessault yesterday after 9 a.m. I thought that was very
the four panes. I have no idea why that was split into quarters. No clue.
Yeah, listen. So back to what I was saying. July 1st, 2024 is not a good day in the history of the Golden Knights. Now, can McCrimmon pull a rabbit out of his hat and fleece a team or a series of teams to make the Golden Knights competitive? We'll see. I mean, McCrimmon does have a track record of finding a way to keep this team competitive. But the fact that the Golden Knights have had more than 4 minutes with $6 million in available money to spend in free agency or is part of whatever it may have you. No one's coming to the table with anything, and the free agents are kind of just passing Vegas off. Now, maybe they're getting paid more elsewhere, but if the goalposts are moving, I don't know if standing pat is the best strategy right now, because what is McCrimmon going to do today as far as the free agents that are left? Oscar Allison, hope he gets 30 goals again. Who,
Tarasenko's still
Kevin
out there.
LeBlanc.
Tarasenko's still out there. You got
sure, fine. That's not going to be the guy.
I've asked about loyalty on several occasions with this organization.
There's no loyalty,
and apparently, yes, there's absolutely
and it matters
none.
now.
I'll give you one case in point here. VGK said that they were had active conversations with Chandler Stevenson and his camp. There were no conversations, and then even for them to come out and say that there were. And then the general manager coming out and saying, we didn't even talk. We only talked to Marchessault. So just get the lie straight, at least. There's a pack of lies right now. Don't get it.
So listen, one thing that is very important right now, let's look how Logan Thompson handled the trade situation. Pure professionalism, shows up to the Sphere, does his autograph signing.
He's doing the autograph signing, and that was phenomenal. That showed me that he was a stand-up dude. That was great.
Of course, and everyone knew that beforehand, but it's always good to see it when the cameras are on. But I don't think it's necessary, but it validates it. Anyone that questioned him, and he did have a little fun with it. You saw some of the comments, nothing backs with the fans and stuff. Good on Logan for wanting to bet on himself and get out of the current situation. But where I'm going with this is, Logan was asked directly. I think it was Ken from Sinbin. He was asked directly, "Did you request a trade?" Logan very politely, I'm going to keep that between me and the team, and then moved on from it there. Very professional, very professional, very professional. The second McCrimmon gets a microphone in front of him, oh yeah, he definitely he requested that trade. Of course, first player ever to request a trade. It wasn't the first player. First player ever to request a trade from the organization. McCrimmon couldn't wait to grandstand and flex on that, why? And then we'll talk about McCrimmon's presser, but McCrimmon did make a comment in the presser that's valid right now. He said he's not going to go into the weeds of the negotiations with all the players and stuff. Why the hell is he hanging Logan Thompson out to dry?
Yeah, and for no apparent reason, none. And then the Chandler Stevenson thing and talking about that, and we go on and on. We'll talk more about this whole debacle yesterday. Moving forward, this is not how you do business. This is not how you earn loyalty. This is not, because those 7 players that just left the organization, I don't think any of them are going to have anything good to say about the front office, especially, Marchessault is just, and he hasn't even begun to talk. And then you have the other ones that they just let them walk. They didn't even care. I think they might have told Matha, and maybe in French or something, that he was no longer a part of the organization. We don't sign contracts, extensions or otherwise, in season. Another lie. McCrimmon just added again. And I think that the free agents are going to start to see this. I think the eyebrows are growing. The eyebrows are growing, bro.
It's
coming up next.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's continue right after this. We will dig into the Kelly McCrimmon presser and much, much more on the way right here on this spicy edition of Locked On Golden Knights. This summer, you got to check out FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. They are hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus each and every day that's on the daily. And that is right. There is something for everyone every day, all summer long. Of course, you could bet on the Major League Baseball games, bet on soccer, but don't bet on the US of A. You can bet on, of course, we've got the WNBA, the W, Caitlin Clark, coming to T-Mobile Arena tonight. That will be sold out, folks. And you could find all the action and activity right there on FanDuel. That's right. There is something for everyone each and every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com/LockedOn and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas, thank you so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and know that a lot of folks are finding us each and every day. And
A
please
lot.
make sure that you tune in to our WTF edition on Friday. Well, every day's been WTF of late. And then on Saturdays, it's sometimes the Chris and Chris Jr. show. So the medieval empire strikes back. Our takeaways from the Kelly McCrimmon presser. And let's just start by laying out facts, okay? There were some facts, I suppose, in there because there's quotes from players and McCrimmon himself, right? So, Jonathan Marchessault, first, free agency starting with VGK's top free agent. I don't think that they did their best to keep me, Marchessault said, officially, right? And then McCrimmon has to counter. He just has to. He cannot help himself. It couldn't be further from the truth. Called Marchessault a fiery guy, said that he would disagree with that. Just unbelievable. And then, McCrimmon.
We're not going to go into the
saying,
weeds with those. We're not going to go into the weeds with conversations. Though. We're not.
Yeah, the conversations took place at the start of the season. He said that they were open discussions. The All-Star break, they met a couple of times, and then several times in the postseason.
Draft combine.
McCrimmon said there were all these discussions, and okay, great. That's neither here nor there. Spoke to Pat Person. He said that there was a pathway to getting a deal done until Thursday or Friday when Marchessault asked for a 5-year deal. VGK didn't want that term. And again, our sources combined. My source said that going into this entire process, even if they signed Marchessault at 4 years, he would have signed, and 4 times 6 or 4 times 6.5. And they started there. And I don't know who blinked first. I don't know how this got to 5. I don't even know if I believe McCrimmon that it was a 5-year term. I think if you gave Marchessault some money and 4 years, I think he would have stayed in Vegas at 4 years. He definitely would have stayed in Vegas. My source said he would have stayed in Las Vegas at a 4-year term and sweeten that money just a little bit and reward this guy for all he's done for this organization. And he's not a guy that's showing any slippage.
Which makes 5 times 5 even easier for both parties.
5 times 5 is ridiculously low.
That's the thing. He took 5 times 5.5
winner and a guy that scored 42 stinking goals last year. There's not a lot of players that scored over 40 goals. Sorry.
Chandler Stevenson or Jonathan Marchessault in the next 5 years. Who's going to have more points? And they're probably going to be close. There's going to definitely be some slippage at some point with Marchessault, where Stevenson, who knows? We're going to see how Stevenson performs without Mark Stone. So if you're using that as setting the markets, the Marchessault deal is an absolute sweetheart of a deal for the Nashville Preds, and good on him for going somewhere. And Tony, I loved your point yesterday you made about Marchessault not going somewhere with a $7.5 million AAV. Because I think he could have gotten it somewhere. He didn't flex his next contract. He's showing he wants to go somewhere and compete. And Nashville Predators might be the most exciting team in the NHL next year. It's going to be really interesting to see how all those players come together and the chemistry. We hear this word so much in Vegas. We'll see how all of that gets handled. But back to the Marchessault situation, you can't tell me they couldn't close the door at 5 times 5. And then McCrimmon makes the comments, he said in his words, we're not into hometown deals. 5 times 5 for Marchessault is as good of a hometown deal as the Golden Knights could have possibly had.
If you're into business, it's not about a hometown discount.
But that is a hometown discount. If you would, me and you, Tony,
wanted to stay here.
Thought he was going to get $7 million.
I said 7. I said he deserved 7.
If I would have told you on May the 1st or June the 1st, 5 times 5 for Marchessault, get it done, you would have thought I was crazy because he's worth a lot more than that.
You said he would sign for less. I'll give you credit there. And I said
didn't think 5 would be the number. I thought 6 was less. And 5, that's nothing.
5 times 5.5 is absolutely nothing.
Right.
When you
talk about 5 times 5 in Vegas, that's what I'm saying.
He could have gotten 7 on the open market if he wanted to get out there. I'll tell you one thing about Marchessault
San Jose, but yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about Marchessault that perhaps folks do not know. He does not like the cold weather. He's like you and I. Me from Jersey, you from Chicago, we don't want to go back to the cold. Guess what? They're talking about Canada, so I scratched that out. They're talking about New York and maybe Boston and Detroit, cold weather. I scratched it out. My sources from the get-go said Nashville was the spot, mostly because good for raising his family, the weather conditions, and a chance to play for a cup contender. And McCrimmon said that so many players outperformed their contracts this last season. So who outperformed their contracts? Marchessault. I knew that they were crying every time he scored a goal. I knew it because they wouldn't sign him at the start of the season, and they were betting that he would go upside down. They bet against him. Amadio outperformed. Cotter did not. Stevenson did not.
Well, no, for a 2.7, what was he, 2.75?
Yeah.
He outperformed 2.75 massively.
Well, not this past season. In the past.
He was still 50 points. He was still over 50 points last season. It wasn't pretty, but he was over 50 points.
Yeah, cumulative, I thought he outperformed his contract.
The goal line, anyone will sign anyone they can who scored 50 points last season for 2.75. So,
man, his value shot up.
6.25 is a massive spike. Yeah. Where I want to go with this just for a second here is, and this is kind of a combination.
He said that they made sorry, man.
No, good. Hit it.
McCrimmon said that they made reasonable offers.
No, he didn't.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because we know what some of those offers were, and those were embarrassing.
Is 2.3 a little over the top for Amadio? Probably. Is $900K not enough? Probably. Draw your own conclusions there.
$900K.
Right. So listen, you look at the damage control and you look at what happened back in our first segment with the free agents walking and free agents not coming in right now. Look at the precedence that's been set for a second. Conn Smythe winner, heart and soul of the team, right in the middle of that heart in that famous Stanley Cup photo. A million things we can say about Marchessault.
Wait. But at the end of the day, who was hugging Foley in the team picture? In the team picture. Never mind. Go ahead, man.
All right. Yeah. So listen, you have Tomas Hertl coming in, who is under contract all the way
8 years.
Cap friendly is still up right now. This is all the way until the end of 2030. Right now, Hertl is 30 years old. He's going to be 37 years old. We'll see if his knees are even going to hold up for 3 years, let alone another 6 years. Okay, fine. And Hertl was the enemy. Let's be clear. Hertl was the enemy. Now he's not, but he was the enemy. Okay. Noah Hanifin comes in. Noah Hanifin is put up on a pedestal higher than any gold medal winner in the universe has been put up on. Shea Theodore bumped out of all of his roles the second Noah Hanifin comes in the door. We're not knocking Noah Hanifin. Hanifin's going to be a good asset for the Golden Knights for time to come. Is the number the right number? I don't know if he's going to outperform that contract necessarily. We'll see. I mean, 7.35, but the Golden Knights didn't bat an eye. The Golden Knights did not bat an eye to lock him up at a contract for what, $42 million or something like that was the net, 42, 48 million, whatever that number was, whatever 7.3 times this long contract is. They had no problem locking up Noah Hanifin until he's going to be age 35, 36 years old, 34, whatever the number is. Why is the team picking now? Oh, the data doesn't suggest Marchessault for one more year isn't good. Why is now the time the Golden Knights are putting their foot down? Why is it with the Conn Smythe winner? Why is it with the heart and soul of the team? Why is it with someone who is up there as far as Riley Smith, as far as contributions to the community, just being a good dude, like all these amazing things? Why are they picking now to do this? And this goes back to the loyalty. This goes back to how other free agents.
I knew they were going to put it back on him. You knew,
and that's the thing right away.
He comes in with fifth year, and we said no way. Get lost. I heard that might have come from the very, very top, where they said no way. So figure it out yourselves.
Listen, if Foley's the one pulling the strings, saying we didn't want Marchie for that last year, then Foley screwed that one up. If that's the case, I honestly think McCrimmon was just being a stubborn SOB at that point. But who knows?
Fifth year was just ridiculous to let that guy walk.
For the same net, it would have been a better contract because it saves AAV in the in the first 4 seasons. And by the 5th season, I say this again, I know I'm repeating myself a ton today, but what is the salary cap going to be in the year 2027, 28, 29? Somewhere between 95 and 102 million, maybe even more. That contract is free money at that point. It's free money. And you're keeping Jonathan Marchessault, who can help bring in other free agents, who can keep the locker room. I mean, who's the locker room guy now on this team?
That's what I said.
Talk about that.
That's what I said. No, I
who's
did
the locker
yesterday.
room guy?
I did. I don't know if you heard me in the bunker or not, but that's what I said. I know I was on the Domino's Wi-Fi.
How was your pizza yesterday? That was actually pretty exciting. I got a bunch of comments from random people about that.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
You kind of look like a Domino's pizza delivery guy today. I'm not gonna
Today
lie.
I do. The old school. Aces,
you're lucky you got the logo up there. Otherwise, you definitely would.
Yeah, the old school Aces hat today. Yeah, I've got to run.
I'm wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt, so there's nothing.
I'm running my Paperboy route right after this show today, and one of the things, major selling point. So again, Marchessault could have wound up on the LTIR. Why? Because this is an organization, folks, aka Shea Weber, that produces Hall of Famers on LTIR.
Before you jump, I don't know if you got one more, but why was Kelly McCrimmon flexing? Why did he choose the end of that press conference to flex yesterday? I know the players better than the fans.
Dude, that's where I was going.
Okay, good.
No, it just it annoyed me.
Why? Of course, you're the GM. Of course, you know the players. One more
thing.
Better.
Okay, thanks for coming. Well, no. I have one more thing to say.
Everyone knows.
Shot at the fans. I thought it was a shot at the fans. You say a flex. I say a shot. Shouldn't say things
both.
like
he took a shot while he flexed.
Okay, shouldn't say things like the fans. They don't know our players. The way that good. That's
your
not
job,
where you should
bro.
go.
It's your job to know the players.
You shouldn't go there. You as a season ticket holder, I thought would have definitely been offended. That's the first thing I thought of was you. And then, UFAs with their chances to capitalize. They believe that they have a strong nucleus now. Where does he start? Where does he start on the strong nucleus? Do you remember this? This is like your book review. Hurdle and Hanifin. Those two are the nucleus of this team. That's where he went. One guy we don't even know. We don't know, does Hurdle have anything left in the tank? And you talk about bad contract.
Is his health going to allow him to have anything?
That's what I'm saying.
His mind, he does. His knees are the other
He'll
thing.
just keep smiling on the LTIR. That's it.
How much speed did the team lose? How about the speed of the team? What's left for Eichel's a good skater, but he's not
points. 197, you said.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I mean, that's another subject is put in the parking lot the speed of this version of the Golden Knights. That's a parking lot topic.
All right.
This used to be a rush team. Used to be a rush team.
We're into overflow parking right now. And coming up next, we will talk about VGK's free agent signings, including that of a goaltender, Ilya Samsonov. We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. It is Tuesday. We are just full of spice. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Fridays, WTF Day. Saturdays, of course, it is the Chris and Chris Jr. show. That is the YouTube exclusive. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We appreciate all the comments, good or bad, each and every day.
All the listeners. Okay,
so let's talk about these free agent signings.
I haven't heard of half of these guys.
Okay, they signed some guy named Johnson. Okay, they signed Tanner Lazinski from the Flyers organization and played 38 games, in the Flyer organization, not to be confused with Greg Lazinski, the man that put the crack in the Liberty Bell. Zach Aston Reese was signed.
Ooh.
Someone had him on their depth chart already on the fourth line.
I saw that. Get out of here. I saw that. Oh my God.
Another depth piece.
That's shooting for the stars there. Ryan the hockey guy, I love you, but you're shooting for the stars there, brother.
You fans don't know our line combinations like we do. And then, of course, Ilya Samsonov. That's how we pronounce it. I want to get the
Samsonov.
Samsonov.
I think I ran it faster. WNBC. WNBC.
Okay,
You like that?
so
I know you like that.
I'm throwing away all the analytics and BS. This is a cat that won 23 games. I don't care if he allowed 3 goals a game. Bet the stinking overs when he's in net. Bet the overs. We always have an angle. An 890 save percentage, not very good. The fact that he won 23 games is sort of legitimate for the soon-to-be Samso #1 goaltender for this team. He's going to be number 1.
Oh, he's going to be number 1. This is a
Sean
Burke
contract year. Aiden Hill's in. I wonder if they've had conversations. Aiden Hill is in his contract year. Okay,
or maybe they try to trade Aiden Hill. So listen, Samsonov will be this. It might be the starting goaltender as far as the 2025-26 version of the Golden Knights are concerned. We'll talk about that many moons from now. But this is as Sean Burke as a Sean Burke goalie there is. He's a big body, stands up, doesn't move a lot in the crease. This is why Aiden Hill is on the top of Sean Burke's list. This is why Sean Burke loved Robin Lehner.
Big goaltender. What does this mean?
He likes big goaltenders.
I know. What is this? What does this equate to?
Robin Lehner? Is that where you going?
No. Ilya will definitely have at some juncture, maybe this season, hip injuries. Hip injuries. I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say a gold bust.
Let's just pray that there are more gold busts on the way.
So it's funny you talked about that.
Do gold busts about each and every one of the UFAs that left. Those would be great giveaway items. Start promoting that opener and give away the Marchessault bust to fans.
So listen, I'll take an objective look for a second here at Samsonov. 22.
Oh, wait. Were you going to talk about the fact that I said I noticed all the players who they weren't giving those collectible pins?
Yes, and they're all gone.
I told you that's how I did my.
You called that like a month ago, dude. You literally called that a month ago. So
we'll give it away an Aiden Hill pin. That must mean that Logan Thompson is done. Okay,
that's unfortunate, but that's the reality.
No,
22-23 version of Samsonov. 27, 10, and 5. 233 goals against, 919 save percentage. For the Leafs they're not a good defense, and the Golden Knights still have a solid defensive core. They could still be one of the best defenses in the NHL. I will give the team credit for at least keeping the defense largely intact. You look at his 23-24 metrics, not good. 890 save percentage, 313 goals against, but he did have 23 wins. So like you said, bet the over. There's the angle right there.
We like that.
All of the stats, I think Samsonov, Granger put it out there, I think it was like the 5th worst goalie when you looked at like the advanced metrics and stuff like that. So that's a concern. But again, Toronto Maple Leafs defense, they're winning a lot of 4-3 and 5-4 games, up/down there, depending how you look at it. So we'll see what version of Samsonov the Vegas Golden Knights get. I think it's a good move. But again, you watch Logan Thompson leave, and he was on the sweetheart of the craziest deal as far as a VGK goalie is ever going to get, and good on him to hopefully go to Washington and have a great season and get a nice bag, because there's no one that deserves it more right now than Logan Thompson. But going back to Samsonov, like Logan's gone, boom, $1.8 million for Samsonov.
Yeah,
Logan Thompson is 3 times the goalie Samsonov is right now, and Samsonov gets 2.5 times what Logan Thompson got.
That's unbelievable. Again, I just can't believe there's $7 million tied up in goaltending here, and we'll see. And it's an iffy proposition. They did sign Pavel Dorofeyev, 2 years, 1.835. Caden Korczak, 2 years, 1.6. Parking lot, I know that it's full, right? But we need to talk about the future of the blue liners, because now Korczak's an everyday defenseman. So I think maybe tomorrow, if we have time, we could do that.
Korczak's aside, I talked to him.
Can we also grade the players in development camp? We haven't gotten to that yet this week.
No, we can do mailbag while we do it too, and ask me anything.
Mailbag.
Korczak, listen, I'm excited.
I'm sitting here in the living room. I've got plenty of time, so please send your questions.
I got all the time in the world. Korczak's excited for his new role. I ran into him a few weeks ago. He's certainly excited. I think his growth is going to be really solid, and his value to the team is going to be good for a long time to come. And we'll see what happens in a couple of years when you need to get a new deal. And you mentioned not Ron Bjerg. Ron Bjerg, I'm not excited for, no disrespect, but Dorofeyev 1.83 for someone.
Wait, was Ron Bjerg on your depth chart?
Who else is going to be Chance? The Golden Knights.
Chance.
That's all it's left as far as the line 4 left winger.
He's pretty tall and rangy. He could be the third string goalie.
The Golden Knight or Chance?
Chance.
He's not as big as Samsonov, though, so he's not a Sean Burke guy.
I know. Okay. So, no, I was going to say, okay, so VGK, at least for the moment, are they done filling gaps? Now you still have, I had Adam Henrique on my list, and literally after midnight last night, because I couldn't sleep, I was so excited for the show. He was signed. Tarasenko's still out there.
What about the Skinner deal? Like, I know we're going way into overtime today, but Skinner gets bought out from Buffalo, goes to Ottawa on a 1-year, $3 million deal. We're talking about someone who had 82 points in 22-23, dropped to 46 points the next year, 63 points the year before. I mean, for $3 million, like, what a lottery ticket to scratch. What a lottery tickets.
But not VGK couldn't get to they couldn't sign any free agents.
Right, but you're telling me that a Jeff Skinner who got bought out, Tony, Jeff Skinner who just got bought out, he's not wanted. It says misfit. This is a misfit. This is a misfit right here. They couldn't even sign a misfits. And more they try. We don't know if they tried or not, but they couldn't bring a misfit in.
Trying to sign everyone.
People, free agents don't want to come here, Tony. Free agents don't want to come here.
People can say what they want to say, and it is a great city to be in.
Yes.
And a tremendous fan base, even though you don't know the players as well as we don't. It's a great city to come to. And, of course, the tax benefits and all that. There's going to have to be some changes in the front office, I'm sorry to say. So last night,
you're sorry to say?
I go on Cap Friendly, right?
Check it's still there. Out. It's still there this morning. I'm excited.
It is still there this morning. And they added the armchair GM for basketball salary swish. So it's the equivalent. So I'm up there looking at all these trades and all these free agents out there digging in. That's my life, folks. And tomorrow, I think we'll be back for another show.
Before you cut out, just in closing really quickly here.
People can finally hear me, man. Let me have my voice. Yesterday, they couldn't.
No, trust me. I don't know if that's going to help the views or not. Listen, a lot of people are going to watch this show today and like wonder where all this is coming from. Forget sources, forget people we might have talked to recently. Just look at yesterday. Listen to McCrimmon's press conference. Look at the players that walked. Look at the players that came in. You want to question us? Fine. Question us all you want. Just look at the results of July 1st. And then you can evaluate us.
We've got receipts from yesterday.
We got receipts for about a year regarding Marchessault. So I have receipts from a year ago when I wrote an article for a place I'm not going to say where Marchessault himself saw this coming.
Yeah, pretty sad day, I think, for the organization. We appreciate
reality, folks. It's a new day for the Vegas Golden Knights.
I held the anchovies yesterday, just so everyone knows, on that pizza. We appreciate everyone, especially the everydayers, for tuning in. And, of course, back again tomorrow. We're supposed to be on some sort of a summer schedule. What is that, we ask? Friday is WTF. Saturday.
WTS, what's the schedule?
Yeah, Chris and Chris Jr. show. And that is the YouTube exclusive. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.